Hello, I'm Peter Murray, and I'm joined today by Roxane Markarian. Roxane is a partner in the National R&D Tax Practice at EY. EY, of course, is one of the largest professional services firms in the world, as well as being members of NLA. And in the atmosphere of collaboration that has been generated by our current predicament, EY are sharing their expertise with a regular series of NLA webinars which start on Wednesday this week. First of all, Roxane, perhaps you could tell us a little bit more about the stimulus packages announced by the Chancellor over the last week and a half, and some of the conversations that you've been having with businesses.
Thank you, Peter, and thanks for having me on this video conference. There are sort of two main grant funding schemes available that has been announced for a total of 20 billion funding. First is the Small Business Grant Fund for up to 10K for the 700,000 smallest businesses. And second is the Retail, Hospitality and Leisure Business Grant Funding, which is up to 25K. In addition to that, there's been two loan schemes that were announced by the Chancellor, the Coronavirus Business Interruption Loan Scheme and a Corporate Financing Facility. And probably what's most interesting is the several people funding measures that have been announced. The one that is most interesting, or we're seeing most interest by businesses and clients, is the Coronavirus Job Retention Scheme, which is the one that we are speaking most, or clients are most interested in. This is a scheme, this is where government will provide grants which will cover 80% of the salary of retained furlough workers of up to 2,500 a month. So quite an interesting proposition. We are very much here to support the NLA members with any questions you may have on some of these schemes.
I guess not all these will be suitable for every business. What other funding is there around that can help businesses at this difficult time?
So there's a number of other things. The financial measures announced by the government so far may not be suitable for all businesses, especially if you were in the medium-sized business category. The grants announced are for very small businesses and for those in the retail, hospitality and leisure sector. And the loans may not be a solution for all clients. We are expecting more grants to be announced by the government. So I think watch this space, because we are expecting, announcements on a weekly basis. What we've observed is also an interesting phenomenon. In the last week and a half, we've observed some behaviors, I guess, which is a really good example of the solidarity we're experiencing across the nation. Several charities, organizations are pulling together funding to create grants specifically for coronavirus. These include things like the NHSX, Netflix, Facebook, and other communities who are creating new funding. If you are a business listening to this, and you're probably wondering what's out there for me now because the government announced measures may not be suitable for you, there are some non-government COVID-19 specific incentives available for businesses. Some examples are the NHSX fund, which is seeking digital solutions for self-isolating members or people, society, to help with mental health and delivering remote care effectively. So this is a grant which is available up to £25,000 for those who have a solution, and the deadline is very tight, 1st of April. There's also other sort of grants that are coming out, for instance, rapid sanitization technology. Apparently it takes 45 minutes to sanitize an ambulance. So DASA is an organization who's looking to fund rapid sanitization technologies, providing up to 350K to organizations. So these are just some examples of what's out there. I think it's important to mention these grants you have to apply, businesses have to apply to them, and they're based on merit. So it's not just a case of applying for them. You've got to meet the criteria and you've got to put in a compelling business case forward.
And are these going to happen quick enough for a lot of businesses? I mean, what advice will you give to somebody who actually needs to get cash in the door pretty fast at the moment?
Typically, it takes, government 2 years to implement some of these policies, and now, they're trying to do it overnight. So it's extremely challenging for the government as well. They're working around the clock to sort of implement these schemes. If some of the schemes are not sort of, what I would advise is that if some of the schemes are not suitable, that there are some non-COVID-19 related schemes out there that may be a good solution for you. One of them is still the R&D tax scheme is still one of the most favorable, I would say, or most compelling schemes out there for businesses to tap into cash quickly. And I know the NLA or the members of NLA are already probably tapping into the R&D tax claim, but if they're not making use of this, now is a really good time to consider this scheme, because it provides 33 pence for every pound spent on qualifying R&D. So it provides a really interesting benefit. Many businesses I know are not claiming R&D tax because there is a misconception around what qualifies, and it's sometimes believed that you need to be doing blue sky research to qualify. But from our experience, most businesses are doing something or doing developmental activities which do qualify, and they should access it. And if you are accessing it, and I would say that it's a good time to revisit it and see if you're maximizing your R&D tax claims, because our specialists have in certain cases found that claims could be increased 10 times by analyzing some of the non-obvious areas, bringing immediate cash to the businesses. And on that, we've spoken to the head of R&D HMRC policy, tax policy, who has confirmed that they are putting in place measures to expedite the process of bringing cash or releasing those cash from the R&D tax claims. So we're already seeing an impact of these measures. Last week, we already seen some R&D claims that were perhaps stuck have already been released. So hopefully businesses will receive the funding fairly promptly because of these new measures implemented by HMRC.
Great. And I mentioned at the beginning the webinars that NLA and EY are organizing. Can you just tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, of course. So as a principal partner of the NLA, EY will be hosting a series of town hall presentations. I think they'll at 10 a.m. For every Wednesday for the entirety of April. And I know many businesses will face difficult choices in terms of the capital and liquidity management. So hopefully these sessions will really provide some clarity about what to do next in terms of the funding and how EY is supporting these processes.
Thank you very much. I'm sure our members will find that exceedingly useful in this very difficult period for business. So thank you very much for joining us today, and thank you to EY for sharing your expertise with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here. Thanks very much.